to Jacket Talk on LEB TV.
It is time for Jacket Talk. It is brought to you today by Mid-Missouri Bank, Ginger Wellness, also by Mercy, and by Jacket Nation Sports. Kevin Stubblefield, downtown Lebanon is where we're at. We're at Buzzcuts, and we are visiting with Lebanon soccer coach Jacob Woolsey as the Lady Yellow Jackets are getting ready to be unveiled on the 31st of March. Kind of a late start to the regular season, Coach.
Yes,
any reason for that?
Just join a new conference. Our games tend to schedule about a year out, so there's a little bit of scheduling problems with a few teams that we usually have early in the season. So nothing major, but just trying to make sure the girls are healthy and that we're ready to go for the first game.
First regular game is at Marshfield on Monday. Have you played a jamboree yet?
No, it got canceled. It was during that bad Friday night with all that lightning and the potential tornadoes, so we didn't have anybody come in for that.
What's your prospects and expectations for 2025 with your group of ladies?
We're very young this year. I'm trying to make sure that we're going to go in as strong as we can. And with the new conference, I don't really know what to expect because we haven't played a few of these teams in several years. So very excited for this new season, this new schedule.
What's the nucleus of your returning group coming back that will help you form the foundation for this season?
I've got half of my defense coming back from last year. I've got a few midfielders coming back from last year, and my starting forward coming back from last year. So we've got pretty much the spine going, and now it's just trying to make sure everything fits together right.
Let's get to some names to faces. Who are you going to be counting on?
Mahala Smith, senior. She played midfield forward for us last year. Mia Orcutt, she played a little bit of midfield, some defense, some forward. Michelle Sato, one of our sophomores returning in the back. Ashley Baum, one of our defenders turning in the back. So Jalen Keller, one of my starting defensive mids. So I've got quite a few girls returning that have some experience on the varsity.
Overall, are you satisfied with the numbers coming out for soccer this spring?
Oh, you always want more, but I'm very excited for what we have. We actually picked up a few more after our season started. So I'm very excited about that. We've got 9 freshmen, 11 sophomores, 3 juniors, and 4 seniors. So very, very excited, very young this year. And they're very energetic in there. They're a fun group. I really enjoy them.
If you have players that are not involved in a winter sport, what do you do to get ready for girls soccer in the springtime?
We do some off-season training. We do some open gyms, where we'll do some small-sided scrimmages, stuff like that, about twice a week before season starts. Sometimes I'll put out a schedule of stuff to get them interested in stuff. We'll have a few girls go up to Springfield and play at Light Country for the indoor session, just to get touches on the ball, just so that nobody gets too rusty.
Mm-hmm. What's your thoughts on competing in the COC? Of course, a lot of the schools, even though Lebanon's in a new league, you've played those opponents before. What's your thoughts going into the new conference?
I'm a little nervous. I'm not going to lie. I'm a little nervous. Soccer in Lebanon is a little bit behind the 8 ball. We don't have a lot of the competitive options that Springfield schools have or some of the larger places. So that kind of hurts us as far as our feeder programs go. But we've got some exciting things coming up, and I've got some groups of girls coming in that have been more competitive on that competitive side that will really help us in a few years.
Well, we're visiting here. It's the 26th of March on a Wednesday before your first match on Monday. What are some of the elements of your team that you feel can help you succeed coming up?
This is a hardworking group. They don't really give up, and their attitude and some of the girls have the skill to go with it, and that'll really help us.
How long have you been involved in the sport of soccer?
This is going on my 3rd year as the head coach. I started in 2018 with the girls side. I started working with the boys side in the 2013. So I'm coming up with my 13th season with the boys, and then, gosh, I don't even know what the girls. I think this is 8. So it's been a while.
You and Coach Matt Jernigan, you've kind of been in lockstep on both sides of the spectrum, haven't you?
Yes, absolutely. He mentored me very early on. He was actually my high school coach whenever I played in high school. So he's been a mentor to me, and he's been a very good friend throughout the years, and just been a role model and just somebody I can always call if I need help.
Mm-hmm. Well, as we visit today, what are some of the elements of your team that needs to improve in order to bring about success this spring?
I think just touches on the ball, honestly. I think we'll get a lot stronger as the season goes on. We'll get more comfortable playing with each other and just getting more touches on the ball, especially for those younger girls.
What about the back end? Who's going to be your goalkeeper?
That there's kind of a little bit of a struggle going on between that. We've got a couple of girls that are that have the skill to do it, and we're just trying to see right now who all fits together the best and where everybody can place. Last year we had our starting goalie go out, and then Maddie Hilton stepped in and finished out our season very well last year. So I think I'm kind of leaning that way of Maddie Hilton in goal. So just that senior in the back and experience. So,
of course, soccer is a sport of skill, but also a sport of conditioning. How have you endeavored to try to get the team in shape and ready to go?
Oh, yeah, there's always that running in the background that's going on, trying to make sure that we're getting as much conditioning in during the drills so that it's not just running around in circles. And the girls will do it. I mean, you'll hear about it while they're doing it, but they're going to do it, and they're going to usually thank you for it afterwards.
What about facility enhancements to Jacket Field?
Oh, goodness. Our facility has been so blessed this past year. We had new sod put in over last summer that the boys played on this year, that the girls getting played on this year. We are getting new stadium lights put in this coming summer. Jeff Morgan, our maintenance department, is just amazing. We got a new fence put in the front. We got our old fence in the back end taken out. They're setting up a practice field in behind by the railroad tracks over by Boswell on the other side of the playground. There's a lot of exciting things happening. And for anybody that thinks that soccer doesn't get taken care of, we are very blessed. We are taken care of very well.
What kind of parental and support group do you have to really help do the work, raise funds, and help make this all possible?
I can't do any of this without the parent support. From running concessions to them making sure their players are there and that they're supporting our team. Our parents we have a very good core group of parents that contribute a lot. That'll reach out to me and see if we need anything. There's several churches that will reach out and see if we need anything throughout the season. We are very blessed.
If weather does interfere on your natural playing surface, you do have the option of going to the high school and playing on the turf. So that's an advantage, isn't it?
Yes, absolutely. I do love the grass field. I'd much prefer playing on grass, but we are very lucky to be able to go to the turf to get those games in if we need to.
Mm-hmm. What about your coaching staff?
Oh, Abby Schmitz. She is an amazing coach.
Former standout player for Lebanon.
Went on to play college, was goalie for Drury and then for Evangel. Connects very well with the girls. And the girls absolutely love her. I mean, she is an amazing part of my staff.
What about your district alignment this year? Where are you going to be for that?
We went north this year. So we're up with Eureka, Marquette, Parkway South, Cedar Hill, I believe. So we've got a few locals, Waynesville and Rolla are in there as well.
But when you go out of town to the north into a metro area like that, you're probably not going to see those opponents during the regular season.
No, we're not. We don't tend to go that far north. I mean, Rolla is usually about as far north as we go. So the last few years we've actually gone north, so we'll have some experience playing some of the teams. Some of the tournaments. I think we played Cedar Hill a few years ago at the Parkview tournament.
Marshfield on the road on Monday. Then you've got your home opener on Tuesday with Joplin. Give us a scouting report on those first two games.
Very, very excited. Marshfield has a lot of numbers this year. They're very young. They graduated their all-state player last year. So we're very excited to see what they have returning. Joplin, I'm not sure. I haven't heard much about Joplin yet, but
you have you're a nice head coach because this is spring break week for Lebanon, and you've given your girls a couple of days off, haven't you?
I have. The girls worked really hard the last few weeks, and we were outside, I think, all but one time. So between all the wind and the rain and the the poor weather, we went outside just about every single day. So we're going to reward that dedication. And especially if it's nice weather, I want to make sure that they're coming back and they're nursing whatever soreness or little injuries they've gotten from practice the first few weeks, and make sure that we're ready to go for Monday.
Coach, appreciate it very much. Best of luck to you and the Lady Yellow Jackets this spring. Thank you.
Thank you, Kevin. I appreciate you.
That's Coach Jacob Woolsey from Lebanon Lady Jacket Soccer. Our show today brought to you in part by Mercy, Ginger Wellness, by Jacket Nation Sports, and Mid-Missouri Bank. We'll return with more from Buzzcuts after this.
My name is Jaisha Connor, owner and nurse practitioner here at Ginger Wellness. I believe that sometimes healthcare does too much, and I believe that's where wellness centers can really bridge that gap and really give people some confidence in natural ways, healthier ways, to really improve quality of life and to get healthy.
We want to feel better and live better lives. It's not about quantity, it's a lot about quality of your life.
Ginger Wellness is where I went to get my quality of life back.
I'm Monty Hayes, Community President at Mid-Missouri Bank in Lebanon. We have the best products and services with friendly faces you know as your neighbors. Our financial experts and community leaders live, work, and play where you do. In a world that is constantly changing, we have the technology and security to allow you to bank from anywhere. Our lobby and drive-thru is open 6 days a week at 278 North Jefferson, or visit us online at openaccounts.midmobank.com.
Welcome back to Buzzcuts in downtown Lebanon for Jacket Talk. As you can see in the background, we've got Lebanon baseball from Tuesday's home opener as the Yellow Jackets defeated Warsaw by a final score of 11-1. Jacket golf down at Point Royale on Thursday for the season-opening golf tournament. Jacket baseball will be in Cassville to take on Mount Vernon and Seneca on Friday. Lebanon tennis will be at the Cooper Complex in Springfield to go up against Glendale on Friday. And Lebanon Yellow Jacket track opens up at Waynesville. So an opportune time to visit with Coach Shane Rebmann.
Absolutely.
Jacket tracksters are ready to go?
Ready to go. We had actually had our first meet last night. We had an open meet in Camden, and I was telling our coaches and kids today that might have been the best opening meet that we've had in my memory anyhow.
We had Coach C on last week. He indicated your numbers are in the neighborhood of 160.
140 for us, yep, 140. So he inflated us just a little bit.
Well, that's all right.
He likes to brag on us a little bit. But
well,
yeah,
he wants more participation in track and field because that's kind of the backbone of athletics, isn't it?
Absolutely. Coach C's always done a great job of promoting the track team, and of course he wants kids playing every sport. He wants as many 3-sport athletes as as we can get. But track, is. I say it's a true test of athleticism. I mean, you're running, jumping, throwing. Like that's what athleticism is, and obviously that translates well to the football field. So from his perspective as a head football coach, he wants those guys getting faster, and we're happy to take them. That's for sure.
Well, at Camerton last night, kind of abnormal for this time of March to have pretty nice weather.
Absolutely, we've run that meet in the snow before. That was a memory I'll never forget, was going to an open track meet with 100 and some kids and it snowing. That was 4, 5, 6 years ago. But last night it was beautiful night.
You talk about your numbers in the range of 140. Mm-hmm. Do you have some good division there between sprinters, distance, throwers, and jumpers? Do you have things kind of equalize the way you'd like to see?
We really do. We're a little light on hurdlers right now. We were talking about that at practice today too. We've got one good varsity girl hurdler and one that's coming up, and then our boys, we have nobody at the moment. But other than that, we have really good balance. Our sprinters looked really good last night. Our distance kids, we're missing a couple of them here and there, but by and large, they really showed out well last night. Coach Smith's doing a great job with them, and we always have a bunch of throwers. I mean, that's something we've always been known for, is having a lot of throwers. We've got really good balance this year, and very few holes in that lineup.
Mm-hmm. Well, talk about who's going to be front and center for you on the varsity.
Well, we've got a bunch. We're going to be young for sure. I'll start with the boys, and I'm going to forget somebody, so sorry to anybody that I forget. But our sprinters, based on last night, going to be anchored with Elisha Simmons and Josiah Simmons. So that family's doing really well for us right now. Ty Alley looked great. Isaac Kelm looked great. Let's see. I'm going to forget people. I did bring a list here, but because I don't want to forget too many people.
And those individuals you mentioned, they're multi-sport athletes.
Yep, they all play multiple sports and very young. No seniors there. Luke Smith also looked good, another sophomore. Distance, Liam Allen killed it. Grant Kilmeen, like always, did a great job last night. Landon DeMock looks like he's taken a huge step forward for us this year. And James Perigo also. And again, all young guys. None of those are seniors. Throwers, Eli Jackson and Jake Rebmann, both had solid nights. Braden Mann had a great night in the javelin. So that's kind of the core of our team. Antoine Givens is with us this year, and you talk about a kid that showed some talent here.
Antoine can jump.
He might be the first kid ever in Lebanon. I don't know. I'm going to have to do some checking. But he long jumped over 20 feet, triple jumped over 40 feet, and high jumped over 6 feet in one night. And that is a very rare feat in the high school ranks to do those. Those are all kind of those standards that you want to hit, 20, 40, and 6 foot in the jumping events. And he did them all three in one night. And that was at his first track meet ever.
I was going to ask, what experience does he have in this sport?
Last night. Yep. So, the future is really bright for him. We've got a really good group of jumpers. Blake Kaufman is long jumping for us this year, and he's kind of a first-time jumper. I know he's been on the track team in the past, but he went almost 20 feet last night too. So we've got a really good jumps group there on the boys' side. So our boys, they're really solid. Like I say, kind of searching for a hurdler, but other than that, we've got a good one or two good kids in every spot on the boys' side. Girls, really the same way. Sprinters are anchored by some young kids. Lauren Williams looked good for us last night. Addie Dent, and Bailey Cromer, and Lily Waterman. Sam Richardson wasn't there last night, but she's always been kind of a core of our team. And then we've got some young ones that are coming along with us as well on that sprint group. And then, of course, you got Abigail Tagg, a multiple-time state qualifier in track and cross country in the distance events, and she's just as good as always. Jumping events, Addie Rebmann in the high jump again, multiple state qualifier and state placer in the high jump, and then Addie Dent will do some long and triple jumping for us. Throwers, Elsie Shadle has been a rock in the shot put for us. Discus is a heavy competition on the girls' side with Camilla Windsor and Aaliyah Culp, and Ray Guccione is in there. So again, a lot of multiple sport athletes. So we're in really good shape on both sides with good numbers, and kind of like you were saying, evenly spaced in each event.
Mm-hmm. Well, here in the latter portion of March, you're kind of setting the base for everybody. Mm-hmm. How do you try to really build and improve and get ready for where you want to be here once May rolls around?
Track season is tough. Now we're able to do some off-season stuff. Our attendance numbers, aren't always the greatest. But you have that first month of March, and it's practice. And you get, 3 weeks of practice in, 2 weeks of practice in before you really get started with meets. And then once track meets start, it is hot and heavy through April. We've got 2 or 3 track meets between varsity and JV meets every week in April. So April is really all about just kind of, March, back up to March is like build that base, kind of old school around here. We're running a lot, building that cardio, working the kids really hard. In some cases, maybe overworking some of them. And then April, it's just maintain, kind of sharpen the knife a little bit, go to a track meet, see what you need to work on, come back the next day, get some recovery, and really fine tune on some of the details. And then And then when May hits, things slow back down, and you have one meet a week, and it's the championship season, and you've got a full week of practice that you can really kind of get back to work. So April, as we move into April, it's really just about, kind of that maintenance time frame in a track season, just because it's so busy.
Does your nucleus on the distance running kind of revolve around the cross country program, or do you have some other people that step in also?
Nearly every one of those kids runs cross country. There's a couple of them that didn't run cross country, that maybe they were playing soccer or football players even. But for the most part, it's all cross country kids. And Coach Smith does a tremendous job with that program. I'm so proud of him as a former athlete of mine. I'm so proud to see what he's doing with that program and that team. They've really come a long ways since he took over. And the distance team on the track team is they're the rock for us for sure.
Mm-hmm. What's your relay groups looking like?
Young and very good. We won every relay last night. Boys and girls, 4x1, 4x2, 4x8, 4x4. So now, granted, it was an open meet. Not everybody ran their best teams, and I understand all of those things, but our kids looked really good. Track's a sport where I say stopwatches and tape measures don't lie, and we ran times last night that were very comparable to our best times last season. So, they're going to be very young. They're going to change from what they were last night, but I'm just so excited to watch those relay teams. The kids love relays. I mean, that's what they all want to do. Everybody wants to be on a relay, and I don't blame them. That's what I wanted to do when I was in track as well. Yeah, I'm pretty excited. We came home after the meet last night, and of course, we all love the 4x4. That's the race that's nearest and dearest to our hearts. So we talk about that one a lot. And we were like, we're 7 or 8 kids deep on both sides that could run that 4x4. And that is a great thing, because now you can pull those kids and run a 4x2 and run a 4x1. And so we're pretty excited about those relay teams.
Back to cross country compared to track, of course, that is a grueling sport
for sure.
In the fall. Do the people involved in your distance competition in the spring, do they run as many miles on the track as they do off course, getting ready for cross country?
No, Coach Smith pares it down a little bit. They don't need to do quite as much, so he takes it easy on them a little bit. But they still put in a lot of miles. I mean, I'll look at his workout plan, and they've got 5 to 6 miles once or twice a week still. And I mean, so they're still putting in a lot of miles, but it's not what they do in cross country. And I say all the time, nobody believes me, but a good cross country kid, probably the toughest kid in the school, because you got to be mentally and physically tough to be able to do what they do at a high level. The cross country is a tough sport.
The competition you saw at Camdenton and the competition that you're going to see at Waynesville are those meets that are pretty good barometers to really kind of let you know where you're at right now and where you need to go?
Yeah. Hey, anytime that you can run against Waynesville, and we love Waynesville. We work so well with their program. Their coaching staff is tremendous. Anytime you can run against Waynesville, you're going to know where you're good and where you're not good. I mean, they have so many kids and so much talent that they're a really good measuring stick, especially early in the season. When you see their kids on the track and we're running right there with them, things are going okay. Yeah, it's good competition. Like saying, we love Waynesville. We work really well with them. Have a fun event with just us and Waynesville at the end of the season, and so we love competing with Waynesville for sure. Yeah.
Who's helping you out with your coaching staff this spring?
There's a lot, and I love them. Best coaching staff around. I've got Josh Smith. I've already mentioned him. Former athlete of mine. Nathaniel Rogers, former athlete of mine. Coach Leslie Huff. Garrett Wade, former athlete. Chase Moody is working with us now, so super excited to have him on board. We've got some volunteers, Garrett Austin, Zach Ivey, and Derek Tucker. They're all former athletes of ours. Then middle school, kind of the same way, just a whole bunch of my former athletes, and they do a tremendous job at the middle school as well. I mean, that's why we have such good numbers and success, especially with our young kids, is because of what they're doing at the middle school. So,
how cautious are you early in the season to try to prevent injury from occurring?
Very cautious. Very cautious. In fact, I just got off the phone with a parent whose son is a little tight, a little struggling right now. I was like, hey, tomorrow night's not a big deal. If we need to miss tomorrow night, we need to miss tomorrow night. Speaking of Antoine took probably somewhere in the neighborhood of 20 to 25 jumps last night, between long jump, triple jump, and high jump, and that's pretty grueling. So I didn't let him do anything at practice today. He just kind of stood around and ran through a couple approaches, and that was his practice. So it's always that fine line of we got to get to work, but we also have to make sure we're healthy and that we're kind of maintaining, just that prime level of being able to compete. Everybody's going to be sore. You just want to avoid that injury. So when you feel that little twinge coming on, or a kid got beat up the night before, you really need to take it easy on him the next day. So like I said, Antoine, he didn't do anything today. He was pretty sore. His feet were hurting him pretty good.
Well, Coach, tip of the cap to you and your staff and your competitors. I mean, this is spring break week, and, minds probably wander.
Oh, yeah.
I could be on the beach somewhere else, but here we are getting ready for another track meet. So it takes a special type of competitor to overcome that and keep focused on the job at hand.
Yeah, it does, and it's not easy. And you see your friends going out and going to the beach and going places and doing this, and I've never ever, not once, taken a spring break vacation. I've never gone anywhere. My kids have complained about that. My two children, they're like, we never get to go anywhere. I'm like, yeah, sorry. That's the nature of the game. But we brought nearly 100 kids last night to Campton. So those kids, they want to be there. They want to compete. It's something they want to do. So they'll find a way to get there.
How many years for you now being involved in the Lebanon track program?
This is year number 27. This is 27.
So you're pushing 30.
I'm getting close. Yep. So
still enjoy it?
I love every minute of it. Yep. I will be retiring from teaching here soon, but if they'll have me, I'll keep coaching for as long as I can get around. So I still enjoy every single minute of it. There's times when I wish I was an assistant coach rather than a head coach, but I enjoy every single minute of it.
Very good. Coach Shane Rebmann joining us today on Jacket Talk. Coach, best of luck the rest of the spring.
Absolutely. Thank you. Appreciate it.
That'll do it for Jacket Talk, brought to you today by Ginger Wellness, by Mercy, Jacket Nation Sports, and by Mid-Missouri Bank. We'll be back again next week at Buzzcuts for another edition here on Jacket Talk.
Welcome to Jacket Talk on LEB TV.